You possess ambition, hold significant aspirations, crave success, and ultimately desire to lead the life you have always envisioned. Yet, there is a complication. You are indolent. You are fully aware of the actions required, but you fail to execute them. As days pass, you procrastinate, squander opportunities, and subsequently blame yourself for your inaction. Deep inside, you are conscious of your potential to achieve much more. However, instead of transforming, you remain the same. Feelings of regret accumulate over time, day after day, week after week, until you eventually accept this as an inherent trait. Then, as a new year arrives, you revisit the identical resolutions from the previous one. You embark with immense determination, motivation, and perhaps a touch of delusion. But before you realize it, procrastination reappears like an annoying relative who visits without notice. You delay, then you delay even further. Then one day you look back and recognize that you are trapped in an endless cycle: lethargy, procrastination, frustration, and then resetting goals without knowing how to escape. You yearn to break this loop. You crave overcoming procrastination, ending laziness, and finally making your ambitions a reality. And you begin searching for a solution. You watch video after video online, and most of the advice offered is identical, such as deleting social media, removing distractions, planning in detail, and practicing self-discipline. These methods might help for a short while, but then you revert to the starting point. Inertia is the genuine reason you procrastinate. In physics, inertia is an object's tendency to maintain its current state. If a body is stationary, it tends to remain stationary. If an object is in motion, it tends to continue moving unless an external force acts upon it. This principle applies to you as well. When you are procrastinating, you tend to keep procrastinating. You do nothing because starting feels overly difficult. Instead of confronting the task at hand, you seek easier alternatives, scrolling through your phone, watching Netflix, playing games, or anything that helps you avoid responsibility. But here is the biggest issue. You make the first step look so difficult in your mind that you are afraid to begin. You contemplate writing a 5,000-word essay, and immediately it resembles a massive mountain. You want to start working out, but the thought of exercising every day for months discourages you. You want to launch a business, but thinking about everything involved makes you feel overwhelmed, so you never start. And thus, you continue to procrastinate. But if inertia is the problem, it also means it can be the solution, provided you know how to leverage it. If inertia is the hurdle, then the answer is breaking that inertia. The good news is that you do not need a massive push to achieve that. You only require a small nudge, enough to help you overcome the initial barrier. And there are two extremely effective ways to accomplish this. First, reduce the difficulty of the initial step. Most people procrastinate because they make it hard for themselves from the beginning. When you say you need to write a 5,000-word essay, your brain hears, "This is too big, too hard, do it later." So rather than setting a gigantic task, make it small enough that you cannot fail. For instance, do not tell yourself you must write 5,000 words, say you only need to write 50. Do not tell yourself you must study for 3 hours. Say you only need to open the book and read 1 page. Do not tell yourself you must train for an hour. Say you only need to do 1 push-up. When the task becomes small and simple, you will no longer feel hesitant to start. And the magic is that once you have started, you tend to continue. The 2-minute rule. Another extremely effective technique is the 2-minute rule. The principle is very simple. If you do not want to do something, tell yourself you only have to do it for 2 minutes. You do not want to clean the room? Put on a cleaning song and stop when the music finishes. You do not want to write? Set a 2-minute timer, write whatever comes to mind, then stop if you wish. You do not want to exercise? You only need to put on your workout gear and do push-ups for 2 minutes. Most people will not stop after 2 minutes. Why? Because according to inertia, a body in motion tends to stay in motion. At first, you must push the ball up the hill, but once you have passed the point of inertia, it will roll down easily on its own. And that is why you need to keep the first step small and easy. Once you have started, you will naturally want to continue without relying on willpower or discipline. By applying these two methods, you can break inertia, overcome procrastination, and finally turn your ambitions into reality. The secret to overcoming procrastination does not just apply to work or study. You can use it in any area of life, anything you are struggling to start. You want to work out but keep procrastinating? Do not think about exercising for an hour, just put on your gear and perform one movement. You want to start a business project but feel overwhelmed? Do not try to make a perfect plan. Just sit down and write one simple idea. You want to improve relationships with family or friends? Do not wait for the perfect moment. Just send a 2-minute check-in message. Everything great begins with a small step. Martin Luther King once said, "You do not have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." Remember that you do not need to finish everything in one day. You only need to start. And if you do that, the rest will happen automatically. So if you are an ambitious yet lazy person, this is what you need to remember. Procrastination is not because you are lazy, but because of inertia. A stationary object tends to stay stationary unless an external force acts on it. The hardest step is always the first one. Therefore, make it as easy as possible. Just start by writing 50 words instead of 5,000. Do one push-up instead of training for an hour. Do it for 2 minutes instead of worrying all day. Once you have overcome inertia, everything will become much easier. And when you do this every day, even just a little, you will no longer be a procrastinator. You will become a person of action, you will achieve the goals you previously delayed, and you will turn your ambitions into reality. Therefore, wait no longer, start right now.